everybody. How are you? I just hopped off a plane from Florida and I am here now with you live. I'm going to go live on the radio in a few minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit about my conference that I just came from, and we'll just see where it goes. Totally not prepared today, but I'm just going to do it on the fly. Usually I do a lot of prep, but we're just going to make it happen today. So thank you for listening or joining me. And we're going to get this party started in a few moments.
60 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. 30 seconds.
30?
Yeah, 30.
Well, that's a big difference there, Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sooner than I thought. We got this. Because I keep getting stuck in this thing in the floor.
What?
We keep getting stuck in this thing in the floor. For God's sakes.
What?
There's a missing tile.
Oh. Oh. Hopefully we find it.
We gotta work on that. Hello and welcome to Friday. This is Denise Nostrom, the financial chick, and today's kind of an interesting day. I literally about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour ago, just landed here at MacArthur Airport from Florida. I was in Florida since last Saturday, and I'm a little sad to be back, I'm not gonna lie, and it really has everything to do with the weather, because as soon as I walked off the plane, I felt the cold. And then I came out here to see, get my luggage, and it's pretty overcast and this sad weather that we've had pretty much all winter. So hopefully it is spring, and we're roaring towards summer. So hopefully this will change. But yeah, I had a great couple of days. Got out of the office a little bit, but we're still working. Didn't stop the working. Flew out last Saturday to go down and meet some clients in Florida. And incidentally, what's interesting is pretty much every one of them were former New York residents. Some as recent as last September, and some that have moved down there, a couple of years ago. So it was good. The weather was great. And then after seeing my clients, I went to a conference. But yeah, so I flew into Tampa and got my rent-a-car, and my first client I went to was on the West Coast in Seminole, Florida, and incidentally, she was actually a woman or a girl that I met in college. So her and her mom moved down from New York, and was able to get to see her, and they just sold a house up here in New York, and so we had some definitely things to talk about there. And then the next day I moved on to Apollo Beach, which is also on the west coast of Florida. Yet another New Yorker that bought a house, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. They've been down there, and from Nassau County, so got to visit them. And well, let me go back to the Seminole. So it was very interesting. So whenever we leave the state, I don't know if many of you were like this, but I love Waffle House, and I know waffles are not really good for you, but when you're traveling, you got to go to Waffle House. So I have my Waffle House, and I have my hash browns, and it's great, so that was definitely a fun thing to do. So, and of course, spending time with my good friend and her mom was very, very special. So, my clients, although not all of them start as friends, a lot of them become friends, but it's kind of neat to work with friends and really do a thing. So wait, we're getting some word from the sound room here. The cheesy hash browns. No, I didn't get the cheesy hash browns. I got the one smothered though with onions. Yeah. Probably too much information, but hey, I'm sure most of you can relate. It's nothing like the Waffle House. So then the next day, again, just I love what I do. I love my clients. We're in Hollow Beach, and this client has a boat right outside of their house, like right in the backyard, and they just on the lift they put it in the water, and we got a ride. We got to see the sunset. We went to a restaurant on the water. And then on the way back, he said, I want to relax. So Denise, you're going to drive the boat. So it's quite amazing. It's a beautiful boat, and it's a big boat, and it happened to be pitch black. It was totally dark. So he had me drive the boat and kept flashing the flashlight, and I was a little bit concerned. So it's really amazing that not only do they trust me with their money, but they trust me with their boat, which is amazing. We have a boat, so I kind of had an idea how to drive it. But then we get back to the house, and then they also have a Tesla, the Tesla X series, and the wife said, did you ever drive a Tesla? And I never even actually been in a Tesla, believe it or not. But as of last Sunday, I now have not only been in a Tesla, but I drove a Tesla X series, which is worth $145,000. So, but of course it was in the evening, and it was around their neighborhood. And I was a bit nervous because, I never drove the Tesla, and it is a little bit different than the regular cars. So, but again, my clients are awesome, and it's a great experience. So then from there, I stayed with them, and then I flew over to the East Coast and met up with a client from Fort Lauderdale. Now, she's been in Fort Lauderdale for many, many years, but she was originally a New Yorker many, many years ago. And then from there, I went to Delray Beach to see my next client, and yes, former New Yorker, former teacher on Long Island, and we had met, and she just had some surgery on her shoulder, but I hear she's doing better, so that's good. So we had a wonderful meeting, and then from there, I finally ended off at my conference. So every year with my broker-dealer, which of course is the company that I do my business with, my company is Diversified Financial Solutions, but I work through what's called a broker-dealer, and they're like the big companies, the companies that you hear, the Smith Barney, but Morgan Stanley's or the bigger companies. But being independent, we have a broker-dealer, and they're called Peak Brokerage Services. And what they do, we all get together, financial advisors all over the country, and we meet up in a pretty nice place in Jupiter, Florida, at the Jupiter Beach Club, and we have a 2.5, well, I guess Wednesday, Thursday, the 2.5 day conference. And from there, we have portfolio managers that come in. We have different speakers, get updates on what's going on in the economy, what's going on in investing. It's a great thing, and it's something I love to do. I mean, I'm always learning. I always want to know what's going on, the cutting edge of what's happening. And what's really nice about the organization I'm affiliated with is the fact that I have portfolio managers at my avail whenever I need to speak to them. So when my clients do investments, if they have a particular question, usually you can't talk to somebody at Fidelity or Schwab or whatever the case may be, but we have portfolio managers that you can talk to. And one of the gentlemen that I spent a lot of time over the 2.5 days just picking his brain because I could, and he was there, was Paul Meeks. And he's been on the show. If you've been a long-time listener, he has been on the show several times. He's a CFA, Certified Financial Analyst. He's a portfolio manager, and he teaches at the Citadel. And he's a constant, he was just on this week, he was on CNBC. They go to him when different things are happening in the marketplace. He's on there to give his expert opinion and guidance to the public. So it's really amazing. I always come back very charged up and ready to go, and we have all this information that I want to share and that I want to institute in my practice to help all of you out there. Because again, it's a crazy time. Things are a little bit crazy, but it's not, they always say this time it's different. A lot of times it's not different. It's just a matter of the way we navigate it. And just like driving that boat, which was kind of scary, we had the light, we had darkness, right? But then he would shine the flashlight to make sure I was still not going to hit anything out there in the water. And that's pretty much what it's like with investing. Sometimes you've got a portfolio together, you have a few things, you have your goals, and everything's ready to go. And, well, then what happens? Life changes, things change. One big change that we're all feeling is inflation. So things that you put together right now, you may want to shine the flashlight on it and take a look at what's going on, and if it's still working for you, and if it's something that's going to get you to where you need to be, or just if you're concerned. I mean, I was talking to one of my colleagues earlier, and all the stuff that we hear on the media, whether you're listening to Fox News, CNBC, MSNBC, it's scary. It's really scary. But I use the example that I don't mind flying. I just told you I just came back from Florida, and I've probably flown 6 times since last summer, with different conferences and stuff like that. And I equate it to what the media does. So a family member, I'll let them, I won't give their name, but always says, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you like flying." I said, I really, I've been fortunate. I haven't had any delays. I haven't had any cancellations in all the flights that I've had over the past year or so. And they just said I was lucky. But when you think about it, the news is only going to report on like those 200 flights that are having problems, that are canceled or delayed, or people didn't show up for work, or whatever the case may be. The other 4,800, I don't know, let's say there's 5,000 flights in the country every day. I don't even know if that's close, but those other 4,800 flights, no problem. They started at destination, ended off in their final destination. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, I had no problem going to Tampa last Saturday, got in. I was very fortunate I had direct flights, but flew to Tampa, no issues. We were a little bit delayed coming back, but we got here on time. So it's the same type of thing. We can't focus on the negative. We have to focus on the positive. But you are listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am here to help you kind of dissect the craziness of financial and take out the anxiety of saving for the future and not running out of money in retirement. So stay tuned, and we have more after the break. And I just want to thank you for being with me today. Stay tuned. How's everybody doing? Totally ill-prepared today, just kind of winging it. But sometimes that works out. Just got back from a trip. I've been gone since Saturday I visited 5 clients, and I had my conference. And now I'm back to this gray and dreary weather here. What is going on? So, but I'm looking forward to the weekend and being home and seeing my family. And that's my story. So we're just a commercial break.
30 seconds.
Okay. So David, I'm looking at you. I don't even know if it's going to be a nice weekend here or not. Is it? I don't even know. No. And we're back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. You're listening to the Financial Chick Show. And today we're just kind of shooting the breeze. I was away since last Saturday. I had went down to Florida to visit some clients, and I had my annual conference at the Jupiter Beach Club. And it's always a great time to get together. I mean, as a financial planner, it's my goal to continue learning, to help all of you. And this conference does just that. I'm really blessed to be with a company, or affiliated with a company that there's a lot of support. The owners of the broker-dealer are all owned by advisors just like myself. So when they are working with, when they make decisions in the company, it's not like the government that makes decisions for all of us and they don't really know, what it is that we do. They're just kind of like throwing down the laws from the top and just, seeing what sticks. But they're in the trenches just like myself. So they're here to support, when they bring in leaders or different like speakers that are coming into the conference, they know which things is going to help us to help all of our clients, to help all of you. So one of the things that we did talk about was, of course, the economy. That was a big thing. We had portfolio managers that were there. Like I mentioned before, there was Paul Meeks, who's constantly on CNBC with his advice and stuff. So, they're saying that there's basically the market's fighting the Fed right now. We this week we've had another. Well, it's been every week. It seems like where the market volatility is really, really crazy. But this week, the biggest concern right now is whether the Fed's going to increase interest rates, which they're most likely going to do in about a week or so. And we're still uncertain as to what they're going to do in terms of how many more times. But the market, in spite of itself, is doing well, even with the interest rate increases. So they're looking to get to maybe 5.5% or 6% on the Fed funds target rate. Excuse me. Right now we are at 5%. And, one of the things that's in the brokerage world, it says when interest rates are high, stocks die. When interest rates are low, stocks grow. But again, that's what we say was happened before, or this is a problem. We're not really seeing that. As a matter of fact, we have seen a market year to date that has done very, very well. I mean, we were coming off a terrible year last year, but has done really well this year. So, basically, we just have to stick with what we need to know. And, inflation's still running around 5%. I mean, that's one of the things I'm seeing with a lot of people that, they're needing to take money out. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. And we just have to really buckle down and look at ways that we can save money. And on the other side, what's happening is a lot of people are retracting and, again, moving away from the investments that are going to exceed inflation. And one of the things that we never want to do is run out of money, especially in retirement. But at the same time, we want to make sure we protect our money. So that was probably one of the biggest topics, or the main themes at the conference that we had, was protection and income guarantees. And right now, there are people that have pensions, and there are people that don't have pensions. And the people that have pensions, they do have a bit of a, more of an opportunity, because they don't have to depend on their investments to fund their entire monthly expenses or their monthly income. They can say, well, let's just say if somebody has $5,000, they have a pension of $2,000, they only have to hit the pension for $3,000. But on the other side, if someone has $5,000 of expenses and they don't have any core income, well, then you don't have that protection. So one of the things that people are looking at is something that will give you that opportunity to invest, but you're not in the market. So you're getting the upside potential, but none of the downside loss. And so you're participating in indexes, but what's also giving you the opportunity at some point in time to turn on the spigot and to give you a guaranteed income stream. So a lot of people are looking that way. We're a little bit nervous for the market. You can also look at something where you can still have that money flow, but be in the market. Something that you can still have investments in mutual funds or bond mutual funds, stock mutual funds, or what's called sub-accounts, and really give yourself that sense of security. We know the market's crazy. It's always going to be crazy. We have times of feast and we have times of famine, right? But it's really looking at your portfolio and solidifying. Now, some people have a lot of money at the bank right now, and we know the banks. Well, we know one reason we don't want to do it. We don't have anything in excess of $250,000. But even if you're looking at, $30,000, and everything's getting 0.5%, because if you do notice, if you get your monthly statement for the bank accounts, they really haven't raised those rates. So even something that's been very popular as part of your overall portfolio is looking at something like a fixed annuities. Now, fixed annuities are basically, I call them CDs on steroids. So most people are familiar with the CD. You put your money in, you get a rate of return, and you hold it for a period of time, whether it be a year or 3 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be. A fixed annuity, now this is only if it's more of a long-term money, a fixed annuity will give you a supersized value rate. So depending on how much you're going in with or how long you want to hold that for, we're looking at anywhere between 4% to 4.75%. So this is something that you want to look at your overall portfolio and increase the overall rate of return on your entire portfolio. So that's one theme that we're looking at. Looking at your dead assets. A lot of people have old fixed annuities, and if you haven't pulled them out of the file cabinet, I just switched. I'm just in the process right now of switching somebody that had a 2.2% fixed annuity, which about a year to a year and a half ago, that looked pretty sweet. But now it doesn't look so good. You could almost double that. So it's really looking at everything and how can we elevate. So we know things are tough, but let's take advantage of the things that aren't tough. So interest rates are there, so don't fight it. Don't fight the Fed, right? Look to improve your portfolio. The other thing I talked about was called a fixed index annuity. The fixed index annuity is something that maybe take a portion of your retirement assets that you say, listen, I don't want to lose any more money in this. I want to take this and put this into something that I have that upside potential, not the full upside potential. And what I mean by that is it's capped. So if the market does 20%, you may be capped at like 5%. But if the market goes down 20%, you lose nothing. So I'm not saying this for your whole portfolio because we still have inflation, right? So we want to make sure we balance out our assets across the board. But we have the fixed index annuity. We also have a variable annuity. Now the variable annuity can be that same thing. We can create a portfolio for you that will grow and that will also give you income guaranteed for life. So as we're in these places of uncertainty, which certainly we are right now, what we can do is look to certain things that we can count on. It's good to count on things, right? There's a lot of things we can't count on, but believe it or not, there are some things in the investment world, in my world, that you can count on and really just be able to sleep at night and to know that you're not going to run out of money. And I was very fortunate that I'm big with financial plans, and I was able to present at my conference my financial planning program to everybody and to show them how I can show all of you or answer that question, am I going to run out of money, and give you a track to run on and be able to make these decisions that we all have to make. And sometimes we make it by shooting in the dark, but wouldn't it be better to not shoot in the dark and make those decisions based on facts and figures? Again, it takes a little bit of work up front to do it, but if you go through the process and you have a plan that you can look at, and we tweak that plan every couple of years, who's better than you, right? So I'm happy to be back. I'm excited. I mean, this annual conference always gives me the needed boost or the boost that I really need, I should say, at this point. And we're going into summer here, and things are good. You can't complain. So I want to thank you all for listening. You're listening to the Financial Chick Show. I'm the Financial Chick. You can reach me at financialchickshow.com or at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691. Give a call to my office, call for a complimentary consultation, and visit my website to see what we're all about. So I just hope that everybody has a great weekend. Like I said, I just got back. I don't even know if it's going to be nice here this weekend. I do know it's not nice right now. But hopefully we warm it up and we could do some boating here on Long Island. Again, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the weekend and be with me next Friday. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see everybody soon. And I gotta go home and see my kid, my husband, and my puppy dog. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye.